Brick Lane has long been recognised as the heartland of the British Bangladeshi community. The development of Banglatown from the 1980s onwards is a testament to the struggles and successes of this community. However, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, this iconic street and its businesses are facing unprecedented challenges, and the future of Bengali Brick Lane looks uncertain.
My name is Abdul Kayyum Khalik, but people know me as Jamal, and the family business has been here since 1936, so it makes us 86 years this year, and we are the third generation.
My name is Shamsuddin. I'm in Brick Lane from 1976, and I got my business in Monsoon from 1999, and I'm still in Brick Lane.
Brick Lane is Bangladesh. If you don't want to live in Bangladesh, out of Bangladesh, this is Bangladesh.
At its height, Banglatown was home to over 60 Indian restaurants, reflecting the dominance of the Bangladeshi community in the Indian restaurant trade in Britain. 80% of the 10,000 Indian restaurants and takeaways in the UK are owned and run by Bangladeshis. Over 60% of Bangladeshi men and 30% of Bangladeshi women are employed in the hotel and catering sectors, and over a quarter of Bangladeshi men work as chefs, cooks or waiters. Between 2018 and 2020, the Beyond Banglatown project explored the history of the Indian restaurant trade in Brick Lane. We discovered that even before the pandemic, the curry houses of Banglatown were already struggling, with the numbers decreasing from over 60 in the mid-2000s to only 23 in 2018. When the pandemic hit, the businesses along Brick Lane were severely affected. When lockdown lifted, another 3 restaurants had permanently closed. The remaining businesses were facing additional hardships, with trade running at only 10 to 30% of their usual turnover. What impact did the pandemic and the lockdown have on the curry houses of Brick Lane? And what does the future hold for Bengali Brick Lane if Banglatown dies?
My name is Bashir Ahmed. I am the current president of British Bangladeshi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, UK. I was owning a restaurant called Kasturi, just stone throw from here, end of the road. I was running it since 2001 till 2014, and it's really sad for our generation to see the Brick Lane is declining day by day, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Lots of our colleagues, restaurateurs, suffer and in the verge of collapsing themselves.
Hi, my name is Abdullah. I'm the proprietor of City Spice. I've been here almost 18 years this year. Lots of businesses have gone folded. That is the main element. And the rents were going up previous to the pandemic, but now the rents, they can't give the shops away to anybody.
Now is a very difficult time. Very, very difficult time for Brick Lane. But we don't want to see Brick Lane is die, we want to see Brick Lane live again. After the pandemic, it's very difficult for it. You know? And especially in Brick Lane live with the city. And Brick Lane mainly based on the tourist people and official people. Now no tourist people, no official people, so Brick Lane is like dying kind of thing.
The business has been okay for us. First lockdown, obviously, we had this panic buy. Then everybody was fighting over toilet rolls and everything and anything, which kind of like we sold out basically everything. The whole store was completely empty. But then we had to kind of refill, and then the second lockdown, it wasn't busy at all. It was pretty hard towards the end, to be honest. But the street was kind of like very, very quiet. The whole area was very quiet. And then there was sometimes like, you know, it's such a depressing sort of moments that it was like a proper ghost town. It's like no existence of any movements in the area.
I'm glad to be back. I mean, as I say, the sense of being back is not financial, it's just well-beingness. Most of the people who are employed here, they support their families with this business. And it's been difficult for them, likewise difficult for me as well. hats off to the government. Never expected that, but hats off to them for what they've done to support us, to keep us in place, in business with the furloughs and the grants.
Pandemic time was a very difficult time for everyone, especially if you have a business, rental, leaseholder business. They have to pay the rent, full amount rent, and council doesn't help us anything about the rent. They just pay some kind of little amount of money, which is, I can say yes, but it's not enough. We use Justice and Deliveroo, but we are in city. It's not like a other area, because we are mainly based on the tourist people and the official people. There is no tourist people, there is no official people. So they have a lot of commission they're going to get it. Like 25%, 30% they're going to take of it. And I'm really not very keen on that.
Brick Lane has always been a space of change, of survival and renewal. As we come out of the pandemic, the street will change again. But the future of Banglatown and its curry houses is less clear. There are plans to develop the Truman Brewery site, which is likely to negatively impact the restaurants, but the opening of Crossrail might bring people back to the southern end of Brick Lane. We have yet to see how changing work and consumer practices will affect trade.
My name is Saif Osmani. I'm a local artist and architectural designer, and I was born on Woodseer Street, which is where the development is taking place. This is an area which is really important for our cultural heritage, for the local Bangladeshi community as well as other communities across the globe. We just don't think the development presently is inclusive of all the communities that use Brick Lane.
People don't go to see the big building. People come for how the local is, how local people live, how they look like.
I don't really mind the development side of it, the developing the area and so forth. But as long as that we can keep with the characteristic of the area, the originality.
However, Brick Lane and Banglatown is about more than its businesses. It's about its people, the survival of a community, its history and its culture.
Brick Lane is not only the business, it's also a culture. So we have to preserve both of them.
Essence of Brick Lane should be people live with the soil and with their heart.
Brick Lane is like my home. I need to come and visit. When I saw the Brick Lane is dark, I feel like crying myself, because I don't want to see this Brick Lane. I never saw this Brick Lane before.